the performance of the company.
Did you vote for it in 2018?
I believe we did vote for it in 2018.
Okay.
But this is about long-term value.
But hold on. But do you believe you were duped in 2018?
No, I believe we used the information we had available and made the best choice.
Okay, so here's what I find so interesting about this particular choice. 73%, I believe, of shareholders voted in favor of in 2018. A judge has said that shareholders were not informed properly.
Right.
If you talk to most shareholders, by the way, especially big shareholders, they say we were not duped. We understood completely what we were doing, and we were on board with this. Now that this opportunity has arrived on your doorstep, to actually rethink this, if you will. There's a view that, maybe we're not getting the value we thought we should. You thought you should get it, but he's worked, by the way, under the assumption that he was hitting the numbers and dealing with the contract. If I told you that you were being paid a certain amount of money in 2018, and then I called you and said, actually, you know what, we're not going to give you that money anymore, what would you do?
It's a great question. I would go to my board. I would talk with my board.
Yeah, what would you do? Yeah, I'm hoping that folks will understand this. Let's talk about it a little bit more. Tesla Boom Mama says, excellent questions by Andrew Sorkin this morning. Squawk on the squawk. Calpers only holds 9,467,000 shares, about 0.29% of the outstanding shares. So it's not really going to have a gigantic impact on the vote. So she says, no worries, Marcy at Calpers. We know who and what is guiding you. And she says, karma will do its job in due time. This is from Jim Hall. He says, just now on CNBC, Marcy Frost Calpers, CEO, said they will be voting against Elon's comp package, even though they voted for it in 2018. Cool Marcy loves to renege on signed contract. I've obviously have a very strong opinion on this that I've been talking about since the time that the judge was making a decision. And then after she made her decision, one of the most horrible decisions I've ever seen. And I've probably read more cases than 99.9% of the folks in the Tesla community. 3 years at UCLA Law School do that to you. Read lots and lots of cases. This is so poorly arrived at. The opening sentence was the giveaway. Elon Musk was rich, was part of the decision-making process that she went through. That can't be part of the decision in this case, and it gave it away from minute one. But unlike some others in the Tesla community, I don't think Elon leaves Tesla or works one iota less than he would otherwise if this is voted down. He is driven by the mission. That's what he's driven by. He's driven by the mission. He has more money than he could possibly ever use. And by the way, he doesn't use that much. So he doesn't really need it. Someone like Elon, and what he does use, the money that he does use, the massive amounts of money that he does spend from time to time or use it in some way, what is it used for? Oh, it's used for his missions. It's used to start new companies. It's used to enhance new companies. It's used to do whatever's necessary to get the mission to go forward. Someone like Elon wants to see the conclusion of his efforts. It's so critical to see the conclusion. If you don't give up on robotaxi and Optimus and energy storage and insurance and all the stuff that's happening at Tesla, you don't give up on that just because the stockholders decide by some margin. Maybe if it's voted down, it would be voted down by what, 3% or 5% or 6% or whatever. I don't think it's going to be voted down, by the way, and most of the folks that are following it closely would agree with me that it's not going to be voted down. But if it was missed by just a tad, this is not going to be the reason why Elon makes a decision to not make sure his mission goes forward at 100%. Now, leaving, oh, are you kidding me? I can just tell you, I consider myself to be a tiny little Elon. You would hate to be outside of the company and watching somebody else screw it up. It would be horrible. It's nothing worse than to see your baby, and he's referred to it that way. He's referred to that multiple times in terms of his being his baby. You don't want to see something happen to all this effort that you've already put in. You don't want to see, somebody else come in and do it wrong. It's just horrible. You can't stand it. By the way, I've been there because I did sell my company 16 years ago, and I watched them completely destroy it. Didn't take them long at all. It was unbelievable to see how a really pretty smart guy with a pretty good track record in running businesses came in and destroyed my business in no time at all. I had to sit on the sidelines and watch. There was nothing I could do. I was not in a position to stop what was happening with my company. I was kind of in a forced sale. That's a story for another day. By the way, Elon is the kind of person who, if the vote doesn't go through, he'll just find another way. That's his method. He's not going to go, oh my gosh, well, there you go. That's all. Forget it. No, he's going to go, well, get that appeal going. Okay, board, what's the next step? And of course, the board, they're the kind of people also. Do you think the people that you know that are on this board are just going to go silently into the night because there would be a negative vote in this particular situation? You know, the only thing that I can imagine that could happen here is that Elon might have some reluctance, as he's pointed out, to fully advance AGI at Tesla. Now, he'll be fully advancing it, maybe over XAI if this doesn't happen, and Tesla will reap the benefits anyway, because there will be an intercompany deal with regard to whatever those results are, in a way that Elon is able to give Tesla the value without actually having the capabilities be on site at Tesla. You know he's going to do that. Of course he's going to do that. And my guess would be that instead of the stock going up 1,000 times because of AGI, we will only have the stock go up 10 or 100 times, because it's not going to affect Robotaxi or Optimus. They don't need AGI to be successful. They just don't need it. They are going to be plenty successful with existing technology. We're seeing that in front of our eyes. It doesn't require this breakthrough in having the systems be able to be smarter than all the humans in the universe. All right, I'm done with that rant. So on another subject, which I ranted on earlier this year, AG is now on board with my position from late last year that Tesla needs to refresh the Model Y, and will likely refresh the Model Y. I think that he, like I, would be okay if it didn't include bodywork. It could be just internal. It could be a better suspension system, all the things that have happened inside the car, like the backseat viewing screen, which would be so much more important on a Model Y than it is on a Model 3. I think so AJ put this piece of an interview up this morning with a Tesla exec talking about just how good they are at ramping now. Although the Model 3 Highland ramp didn't seem to go so well, at least in the US, seemed to go really well in China. So anyway, I'm hoping that he's right. I'm hoping that this happens quickly. I have been pushing this for a very long time. Yeah, so this is, by the way, Randy Kirk. If you haven't hit the like button, this would be a great time to do it. Subscribe, notify. Later today, we'll either have Scott Walter, Brian White, or Brian Wong. I haven't decided which one. I have 2 interviews already ready to go, which both of them are outstanding. And then I'm interviewing Scott in just a few minutes, and I'm not sure whether that will be the one that seems to be more something that needs to go this morning right away. Anyway, I'll decide which one of those is going to happen. And of course, we should have Jeff Lutz on later tonight to talk about the Beige Book, which comes out later today, and the economy in general, as well as what's going on at Tesla. I'm sure I'll have some things to say about all the things I just talked about. So, and then of course, Patreon. That'd be wonderful if I get a few more folks this month to join Patreon. Could you join? Just look on down below in the description. Okay, Elon fires back at this is on other Elon Musk news. Elon fires back at the New York Times over claims of anti-competitive practices that are being made against SpaceX. He says, we don't use patents except to block patent trolls. So others are free to copy us. SpaceX is building the technology to extend consciousness beyond Earth. So the cost per ton to orbit and beyond must necessarily be low enough to accomplish that goal. Musk has always been vocal about his disdain for patents, famously told Jay Leno in 2022, patents are for the weak. So anyway, the claims are being made that Elon is coming in and getting contracts based on actually losing money on the deals that he's doing. I think this is very unlikely. Elon says it's not true. And I think the losers who are making such claims from the other space companies, yeah, I'm afraid it's sour grapes. It doesn't seem like Elon to purposely lose money in order to hurt a competitor. Not likely. Could possibly happen. What do I know for absolute sure? I don't, but doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound like the Elon that I know. All right, the Kobesi letter says this morning, the S&P 500 just posted its best weekly streak in 35 years. The index has increased 23 of the last 30 weeks, a joint record since 1989, according to Deutsche Bank. Should the S&P 500 close up this week, it would mark the 24th weekly gain out of 31 previous weeks of performance last seen in 1963. During this period, the index has rallied by 25% and added 12 trillion in market cap. 12 trillion, just a little 12 trillion. This is one of the strongest markets of all time. What's the Randy rule about things that go too far too fast or just go too far totally? Yeah, I've been saying it for now, 3 weeks with correction time. Got to happen. Got to be a correction. Might even be a full-on bear. Might go down 10, might go down 20. We have, at least one person this morning on X saying that they're going to short or actually buy puts, I think, on NVIDIA because, it has nothing to do with their value. The value is probably correct, but things go too fast, too far, and there's people that are going to take their profits. And I think that's what's going to happen to the overall market, as well as probably NVIDIA. Whether it's this week, next week, it's going to happen. Count on it. It always does. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at what the market is doing. So Tesla is down $1 this morning, $1.07, but the Dow is down 309, and the NASDAQ is down 36, and the S&P is down 24, and the Magnificent Seven is perfectly mixed or almost perfectly mixed with 3 down and 4 up, including NVIDIA up another $7.75 this morning, 11.46. We've got we have the Kathy Woods all down this morning. Kathy did make a huge investment in X.AI on this last round. I want to say it was 60 or 70 million, yeah, something around $60 million that she put into XAI out of her ETFs. I think it was out of the ARK Invest, but I could be wrong on that part. Okay, let's look at the percentages. We would have the Dow down 0.79%, the NASDAQ down 0.22, the S&P down 0.46, and Tesla down 0.58. There you go. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening with the bonds. We've got the bonds this morning. I just was looking at a headline there. Sorry to take a minute of your time to check that headline. Okay, over to the bonds. We have got the 30-year. I don't care about the 30-year. Let's go inside and see what we got here. Okay, the 10-year up 5.2 this morning. Holy mackerel. That's a little bit surprising. 5.2 basis points to 4.594, almost to 4.6% this morning. We have got the 2-year only up 0.3% at still under 5%. Seems to be having trouble getting past that 5% mark. And then we've got the 2-month actually down a little bit this morning at 5.388. So that would be showing a dramatic change in the inversion as the 10-year comes under selling pressure. So the inversion is happening because the 10-year rates are going up because nobody's buying them. They said yesterday the auctions were not well received. There was not enough money coming into those auctions yesterday. And where it's being seen this morning is by a dramatic 5 basis point change in this inversion, as well as a 5.4% increase in the 10-year. Interesting. If, we'll check on that more as the day progresses. Okay, we have got oil this morning down 23 cents at 79.60, back under 80. We have got Brent also the same amount. Natural gas down 3.63%. It's been under such a crazy amount of up and down activity natural gas has. It's now sitting just under 250, but that of course is way up still from the roughly $1.70 that it was just a month ago. We have got gold down a little bit this morning, down $13 at 2366, right in the middle of its trading range. Silver continues up this morning, however, found out what that's about, at least partially. It has to do with the massive number of solar panels being made in China. That's at least part of the reason silver is up so much. And that has been, of course, over the last 4 years, silver has been going up. So China, as we know, has been building jillions of solar panels and now has way, way too many. That's one of the subject matters I'll be discussing with Brian Wong. Depending on which day that comes out, I can't tell you for sure which day that's going to be. Copper is down this morning 1.39%, but still sitting at 478, well off the 511 or something that it was just about a week or so ago. We have got the dollar pretty much even, not a lot of action there. We have got the Bitcoin down 577 at 67,711, very much in the range that it's been recently. We have got, that's it, right? That's the end of the list. I think, what did I miss? I thought I missed something. Okay, so that is all for now. I'm going to just go back and check on Tesla, see if there's any directionality here. Tending up. It has been green this morning. It has been red this morning. Right now, it is down 79 cents. So trending back towards the green again, as is the NASDAQ, as is the S&P. Dow is flat, but the NASDAQ and S&P are kind of trending up. All the Magnificent Seven are trending up. So we might be seeing some green later this morning. All right, come back later today and we will, hopefully have some good news for you in the evening. But in the meantime, maybe Scott, maybe Brian, or maybe Brian. By the way, yesterday, here's the card for today. This is the most important card I've ever put up. If you missed the Brian Wong video yesterday, yeah, not a good idea, okay? We talked about AI and AGI and the race and what it's going to take to win it. It was an amazing conversation. You should go see it. There's the card, and it has been great talking to you this morning.